Sam, and welcome to ABC Interactive English. I am not sure where my co-host is. He said he was going into the forest, but oh, you're back. So, did you find the Virgin Mary? Did you find somebody to watch your cats, or are you okay? Like, what happened? Did the Virgin Mary take your voice?
No, sorry, I just had a muffin. My throat's a little dry.
You had me worried.
No Virgin Mary. I looked all over the forest. I went up Ali Shan, I went down Jade Mountain, I went to all the Shans. Couldn't find a Virgin Mary anywhere.
Well, I did tell you that it might be a little bit hard since we are not living in a fairy tale.
Well, that's true, but I did find a solution to my problem. As I was traveling through the great mountain areas of Taiwan, on the top of the tallest mountain in the land, I found a cat hotel.
Oh.
Yep, perfect. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. The people there are the best. I just have to drive back there with my cats, and then I'm on holiday.
Oh, I'm very surprised that you found one so far away.
Do you think there's one closer to me?
Probably.
Really?
We do live in Taipei, where there seems to be cat hotels all over.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, now you're gonna have a long trip there and a long trip back.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Wasn't a great idea, was it? No. Okay. I think a good idea, though, would be to read our story.
Okay.
And I'll call the cat hotel and cancel that plan.
Might be for the best.
Oh well, at least I can talk.
It is nice to have your voice.
The king fell in love with the girl. Then he married her and made her his queen. A year later, she gave birth to a son. That night, the Virgin Mary appeared.
All right, Our Lady's Child, Part 3. That's, of course, our story, and since it's Part 3, it's the final day. Let's find out what happens. Last we saw the king found the girl in the forest. The girl still couldn't talk, but the king really liked her and invited her back to his palace. So they're kind of on their first date, and it seems to have gone really well. At least the king thinks so. It says the king fell in love with the girl. Oh, they're in love. That's cute.
Such a cute story.
And then he married her and made her his queen. Wow, this king, he moves fast.
Yes.
He meets her, falls in love with her, marries her.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be a typical fairy tale.
It's true. They could
No
tell us
time.
all about their dates and how they fell in love and stuff. Well, let's just jump to the falling in love and marrying. We know. Okay.
Yes. So in this section, we have the phrase fall in love. So if you fall in love with somebody, it means you start to love them. So before the king knew her, he was just like, oh, she's kind of pretty. And then he invites her back to the castle. And then he realizes, I really like this girl. So he falls in love with her. So that is a way that you can use this phrase, fall in love with.
Exactly. If you're in love with someone, you have this deep relationship, you really care about them. Before you might have been friends, but then something happens and you're just like, I can't think of living my life without this person. At that point, you're falling in love, and then, of course, years later, hopefully you might still be in love, but falling in love is the beginning of those big feelings. And if you do fall in love with someone and you are in love with that person and you aren't married to someone else, you can marry that person. And when you marry someone, you go to a church or a temple, you might have a big dinner, you go down to where the government is and you sign papers. Basically, you're showing the world, you're showing society, your friends, your family, this is the person I want to live the rest of my life with. I'm in love with them, we're going to be a family, we might have kids, all that kind of stuff. So when all that begins, the beginning of your life together as man and wife, or wife and wife, or husband and husband, or whatever, is when you marry that person.
Yes. The typical wedding march.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, and so we also have the word queen. Okay, so queen is the female ruler of a country or a land. And so in this case, she is married to the king. So most of the time she's married to a king, but there might not be a king. She might just be queen on her own.
True.
And so in this story, the girl becomes queen after marrying the king.
Yeah, she's the king's wife.
Yes, being the king's wife makes her have that title of queen.
Kind of like that. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes there is just a queen, like the Queen of England these days. And of course, in the fairy tales, and maybe back in history too, if the king married, he would marry a woman and she would be the queen. So now she's very important, she's very powerful, she's married to the king. Life is probably pretty good. And so the story continues and tells us a year later, so they have been married for 1 year, a year later she gave birth to a son. Yeah, people get married and then they have kids and they start building a family. So she gave birth to a son. She had a baby boy. That night, the Virgin Mary appeared. Finally, where have you been? Give me my voice. What is going on? Why did you leave me in the forest? Why am I married to this king? The girl probably has many questions for the Virgin Mary.
Because now, by this point, it's probably been several years since she's seen her, and she's probably like, first of all, you know, I'm happy to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, but what are you doing here now? What's going on?
All I did was open one door, and look at me. Now I'm married. I got a kid. I can't talk. What happened? Many, many, many questions for after the break.
She gave the queen a chance to tell the truth about the 13th door. The queen refused, so the Virgin Mary took her son away. The same happened with the queen's second and third children. Soon, the queen felt really bad and finally confessed. The Virgin Mary heard. She forgave the queen and returned her children and her voice to her.
Welcome back. Okay, so we are getting to the big part of our story.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back to you guys, and welcome back to the Virgin Mary, who's finally showed up again.
Yes, so we're going to see, why did she reappear?
What is
going on?
What's happening?
Yes. So as we continue, we have she, meaning the Virgin Mary, she gave the queen a chance to tell the truth about the 13th door. The queen refused.
Ooh, okay.
So the Virgin Mary took her son away.
Get out. She didn't do that.
Yes.
The Virgin Mary took her son away?
Yes, the Virgin Mary was still pretty darn serious about that 13th door. She knew that the girl had opened it, and she was not happy that the girl would not tell the truth and just say she had opened it. So she came back and took her son away.
Because all that time ago, when the girl opened the door, she lied, right? She lied about opening the door. So the Virgin Mary thought, all right, I'll give you one more chance to tell the truth.
Yes.
Did you open the door?
She
and the girl
never
was like,
forgot.
No, I didn't open the door. But of course she did. That's the truth. The truth is, well, what is true? The real story, the real facts. We often talk about the truth and we compare it to the lie, all right? The lie is not the truth. It's what I tell you because I don't want you to know what really happened. But what did really happen? That is the truth,
yes.
Okay? So it's hard to be friends with someone who lies all the time because you never know when they're telling you the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess the girl had one more chance to say the real story, to say what was true or the truth. But again, she said, no, I don't want to do that. She refused to tell the truth.
Refused, yes. And so we have this word refuse, which is a verb, which means to not do something or say no to something. And so in our case of our story, she refused to tell the truth. But you can refuse lots of things. Maybe you're at a dinner and you somebody has something for you to eat and it's like, oh, this is a nice chicken dish. But if you don't like chicken, you might refuse to eat some of that chicken dish.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Sometimes, of course, you might refuse something because it's really bad or dangerous or something, or sometimes you might refuse just because you don't feel like doing it.
Yes.
You know, you want to come to a movie? Nah, I'm going to stay home. I'm a little tired. That's not a bad thing. But of course, if someone wants you to lie or do something really bad or terrible, then
you should refuse to do those bad things.
You would be smart to refuse. Okay, so why did she refuse? I don't know, maybe because now I'm the queen and I don't want to, kind of tell people, show people that I was lying back then or something. But again, she made another mistake. That's the important thing. And what happened is the Virgin Mary took her son away. She kind of like kidnapped the son.
At least, hopefully, she probably took the son to heaven where it's nice and she probably fed him and got a lot of, good stuff.
But still,
like the girl had done before.
Yeah.
But yes, still, if you're the queen, you probably feel very sad.
Even if I take your kid to a good school, I'm taking your kid away.
Yes.
I shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, so this kind of thing continued probably for a few years, I guess, because we read the same happened with the queen's second and third children. Remember, she and her husband, the king, are building a family. They're having kids, maybe one a year or something like that. Every time she had a kid, the Virgin Mary would come back. Tell the truth. She didn't tell the truth. The kid gets taken away. Soon, of course, well, not soon, a few years after this is going on, soon the queen felt really bad and finally confessed. Okay, so she felt bad. She felt sad she was lying. She felt sad that she had lost her children. So finally, after all this time, she confessed.
Yes, and so this word confess means to tell the truth or to admit to doing something that you think that might have been wrong or something that before you just didn't want to say that you had done it. And now when you're confessing, you're saying, yeah, actually, I did do that thing. So maybe you, if you borrowed somebody's pen and they were looking for the pen everywhere.
Where's my pen? Did you see my pen?
And finally,
my pen.
Okay, I have to confess, I borrowed your pen.
You had my pen the whole time. My pen.
So sometimes you could be very, worked up about a pen.
Absolutely. Pens are very important. Yes.
So our girl finally confessed after 3 kids had been taken. I would have thought she might have wanted to confess after the second one or the first one, but anyway, let's see how this story kind of wraps up.
Okay.
So we have the next part that goes, the Virgin Mary heard. She forgave the queen and returned her children and her voice to her.
Oh, okay, that's kind of a happy ending.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. So there you go. Even though she lied for a while, she did finally confess or tell the truth and stop lying. And luckily, the Virgin Mary, who is a nice lady, I mean, she's Jesus' mom, she forgave the queen for all the lying that she did. And she also gave her voice and her children back. So that's nice. If someone does something wrong to you and they hurt you in some way, could be something small like lying to you or laughing at you when you don't want to be laughed at, or it could be something much bigger like taking your pen. But if you kind of say, it's okay. You hurt me, you hurt my feelings, you made me sad or angry, but we're friends, or I just want to be a good person. I don't want to be angry with you. I'm just going to say it's okay. So if you make a mistake and you say to someone, I'm really sorry I did this, and they go, it's okay, I won't think about it, we're still friends, that person is forgiving you, which is a very nice thing to do. And in the story, they use the past tense, forgave, right?
Yes.
Give, gave, forgave you. That means the queen, the Virgin Mary forgave the queen, and everyone lived
happily ever after.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
The end of a good fairy tale, an interesting one, a Grimm Brothers fairy tale, but also one we don't really know and don't hear too much. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, try to tell the truth, especially to the Virgin Mary, and we'll see you back here sometime soon. Until then, bye!
Bye!
The king fell in love with the girl. Then he married her and made her his queen. A year later, she gave birth to a son. That night, the Virgin Mary appeared. She gave the queen a chance to tell the truth about the 13th door. The queen refused, so the Virgin Mary took her son away. The same happened with the queen's second and third children. Soon, the queen felt really bad and finally confessed. The Virgin Mary heard. She forgave the queen and returned her children and her voice to her.
Hi， 大家好，我是 Stephanie。那我们今天一样从单字来看，第一个单字呢是 marry， 动词娶或者是嫁。那英文里面呢不需要像中文分得这么细，全部用 marry 来表达就可以了。I am going to marry Jessie tomorrow。我明天和 Jessie 结婚。第二个单字呢是 queen， 名词，皇后、女王。The queen waved to the people on the street。女王向街上的人们挥手致意。第三个呢是动词 refuse， 拒绝。The man refused to provide his phone number。男子拒绝提供他的电话号码。最后一个单字呢是 forgive， 动词原谅。它的三态呢是 forgive, forgave, forgiven。Can you forgive me for my mistake？ 你可以原谅我的错误吗？那我们今天的文法呢，第一个是 A falls in love with B，A 爱上 B。Fall in love 这是情窦初开的大家再熟悉不过的片语吧，它表示坠入爱河的意思。比如说 Penny was 14 when she fell in love with her first boyfriend。 Penny 在14岁的时候爱上她的第一任男朋友。第二个重点呢是 give birth， 生产。 birth 它是名词，出生。 give birth 可以用 to 再接受词，表示生下小宝宝或者是动物生下它的后代。像是 Millie gave birth to her first child in November。 Millie 11月生下了她的第一个孩子。那像是有时候我们要交报告交不出来的时候，就会说啊，我的报告难产了。那在英文里面呢，某个作品的产出你也可以用 give birth， 像是 An inspiring novel helped give birth to her latest movie。 一本发人深省的小说激发她产出这部最新的电影。那最后一个重点呢是 tell the truth， 说实话。这个片语是固定用法 truth， 它是实话或者是事实的意思。 I can't tell if he's telling the truth， 我看不出他说的是不是事实。好，那我们今天的讲解就到这里 See you。
JUST Coffee Hostel is a bed and breakfast located in the beautiful Qinbi Village on Beigan Island. The buildings in Qinbi Village are all made of stone. The bed and breakfast is an example of an Eastern Fujian-style building. The inside of the bed and breakfast is bright and inviting. Visitors are reminded of the European countryside. Anyone visiting Qinbi Village can enjoy the coffee, drinks, and meals. Enjoy the great views of Qinbi Village by staying at JUST Coffee Hostel.
See you next time!